Aloha, beautiful souls, and welcome to another transformational reading here with Rian. And today's topic will be why your future spouse loves you. So I'm expecting a lot of really heartfelt messages coming through for this reading today. But let's do a collective love reading for everybody here before we do the group reading. So deep breath in. Why your future spouse loves you. And exhale. Excellent. And deep breath in. And exhale. Beautiful. And I feel like Spirit was saying stop here. We're going to pull the card on top to reveal a collective message. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So a lot of you already, whatever it is that you've been pondering when it comes to love and romance and your future spouse, you already know the answer. So there's no need to overthink it or worry about it unnecessarily. Okay, loves? So here we have our piles to kick us off. And naturally, we are going to start with group number one. So hey there, group number one. Welcome to your reading to find out why your future spouse loves you. So you have this lovely green heart to start us off. Well, green heart overall, right? But with this like pink heart in the middle there. Secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. That's interesting. You also have mountain, strength. So the word that actually came through as I was reading this is admiration. So your future spouse has a lot of admiration for you. I'll explain that here in a moment. But what else do you have? Blessings, protection, attention, love. Your guides are always with you. Release. Loosen your hold. Relax. Unwind. Release fear, anxiety, and doubt. And last but not least, fall. Change is in the air. Your answers arrive in autumn. Wow. Okay, we need to make some room here. So why don't we do this right there? Perfect. And then we have some tarot cards here that we'll pull in just a moment after we get a good handle on all this that we have to start with. Okay, beautiful. So what I'm seeing here is your future spouse really admires you. Okay, so that's the secret admirer. It's not in the like classic context, right, where someone's like has a crush on you and hasn't revealed their feelings. It's your spouse really admires your strength and your perseverance. I'm seeing here that part of what they also admire about you is that you are able to sort of let go of a lot of these feelings that may discourage other people from taking action or moving forward. So these feelings of fear, anxiety, and doubt, like you're able to release those rather easily. So that way you're not really stuck for very long with anything, or like obstacles don't keep you blocked for very long. Things don't tend to like weigh you down, okay? It kind of reminds me of this like prayer spell that sometimes I invoke when I go into situations where the energy and the emotions feel a bit like volatile. What's yours is yours. What's mine is mine. Do not let our energies intertwine. So that's what I invoke when I want to make sure there's clear emotional and energetic boundaries, where I'm not like an empathic sponge and I'm taking on other people's feelings, and it kind of confuses me on how I should be responding to things because I'm absorbing the feelings of people around me and not remaining like autonomous, right? And so I feel like with you, you understand that dynamic that I described, right? You understand that other people's emotions can sometimes influence us and our decision making, and we end up doing things that might not be right for us in order because we're doing it on behalf of other people or because of the emotions that they're putting out there, right? So like if they're super distressed, they're super worried and anxious, we pick up on that energy sometimes, and then we take actions to try to calm them down, even if it might be detrimental to us, or if it might like put us out, or be an inconvenience for us, or an excessive burden for us, right? Like that type of thing. And it's like, don't get me wrong, of course, if you're able to help somebody, help them. But it doesn't mean that every single time someone comes to you for help, you have to do that. You know, like the beauty of living in like a society is that other people can help them too. It doesn't always have to fall on your shoulders. So you have this very wonderful ability to be empathetic, to be understanding and compassionate, but not necessarily have that sort of like doormat kind of vibe, right? And you're able to stay in your own power, stay in your own knowing when these difficult things arise, okay? So I'm feeling here, you know, with this protect, part of your strength is that you can protect yourself. You can protect your energy. You can protect your own interests in the times when you help other people and when you know when you shouldn't help them, when you shouldn't intervene, right? Where it's kind of like not your responsibility, not your business. And you trust that people who are perhaps in a better position to help them can do so, right? And I feel like that's one of the things that I understood very intimately when it came to medicine. Like I did a lot of general medicine, you know, adult medicine, urgent care, emergency medicine, right? So a wide breadth of different things. But if there are things that I didn't know, like I would send them to the specialist to handle that appropriately when it came to like neurological issues, gastrointestinal issues, rheumatologic problems, right? Like I knew where my boundaries were. As much as I wanted to help them, I can only take them so far, and then they have to kind of do the rest, or I have to have someone else take over, you know? And I feel you have a great sense of that, where it's like you're not kind of like a busybody, right? Your future spouse loves that you're not a gossip, and you don't try to bite off more than you can chew, and you don't like get into other people's business and meddle. It's like you stay in your lane, honey. Yes, stay in your lane. Like that's what your future spouse loves about you. Now, with this fall energy, with like the changes in the air, your answers arrive in autumn. But I'm seeing like leaves falling here, and I feel like that's part of the release, okay? Where you know when it's time to move on. You know when it doesn't make no kind of sense for you to hold on to things, okay? Where you can just kind of let go. I'm also hearing that there's this energy that you have of like faith, okay? Your future spouse loves that you like don't kind of lose that optimism, right? That you're able to kind of let go and turn it over to trust and have faith that things will be taken care of, that you don't have to have everything figured out, that you don't have to do everything yourself. And, you know, a lot of people take this for granted. It's a very subtle sort of awareness and personality trait, right? To not intervene when it's not appropriate, right? I think some people they get into this like martyr energy where it's like I'm gonna help everybody, I'm gonna sacrifice for everybody because I want to look good, or it's the right thing to do, and that's a virtue, and that's a sign of a noble soul, a noble being, right? Someone worthy of praise and recognition and good things and prizes and blessings, right? And like that's totally, I don't agree with that way of looking at things, you know? I feel like these cards got knocked off for a reason. And Spirit was like, okay, move on. There's more things that your future spouse loves about you. So we're going to honor that. Okay, loves? So what else do we have here? One more, Spirit? Do we have one more? Okay. Yes. So let's see what Spirit was so eager to pass on about why your future spouse loves you. We have the Page of Wands. Wow, look at this very vibrant, celebratory energy. You know, I'm seeing here too with this, I said energy, and I feel like there's this energy management that you understand. I'm hearing this song by, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on her name? She had that song, Love Knocks You Down, knocks you down with Kanye West. Oh my gosh, why am I bugging her name? But she also has this song called Energy. This love is taking all of my energy. Energy, energy, taking all of my energy. Right? And I feel like Carrie Hilson. Oh my God, there you go. Let me know if you know who Carrie Hilson is. She also had that song with like Timbaland, like scream at the top of my lungs. Yeah, and Nicole Scherzinger. Anyways, so and The Way I Are was also with Carrie Hilson and Timbaland, and I forget the guy's name, the other guy. But anyways, so what I'm feeling here is like you know how to manage your energy. Like you know when to rest, you know when to give it all, you know when to push a little bit harder and like go a little bit like pull on your reserves because you're on the home stretch, right? And get that last little burst of energy. So your future spouse really loves that. But you know, even though I said that what does your future spouse love about you or why they love you, I really feel like it's just simply that they admire you. Like they see how much kind of self-awareness you have and control, right? Where you're not very impulsive. What else we have? Six of Swords. Look at this. I feel like you know how to really navigate rough waters. And you know, I'm actually thinking too that your future spouse looks to you as that energy to ground them, to calm them when they get too angry, too upset, too sad. Like it's like they know that your energy soothes them. Nine of Wands, King of Swords, and Queen of Swords. Look at that. So the Queen of Swords is very, very wise. Her energy is wise. It's very strategic. It's very observant. Like the thing with the Queen of Swords is like nothing gets past them. It's like you can think of it like as a lie detector or a BS detector. And I feel like your future spouse really loves that about you. They know that you can kind of see through all like the glitz and the glams and the illusions and the masks that people may wear or like throw in your face. You know, like you can see all through that. You have this sixth sense, right? That's very strong, very active. And with this King of Swords, what I'm seeing here with the King of Swords, it's the, why did I think this was the King of Wands, y'all? Like, whoa. So King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, they love your intelligence. So it's not just IQ, but it's like EQ, your emotional quotient, your emotional intelligence, right? And you know, so many people take that for granted. I cannot even stress enough. So many people take that for granted. And they get kind of like pressured into doing things that they don't want to do and they have no right doing, right? But that's not you. You're very, very astute. And what I'm hearing the phrase too, like mind games. Like no one can play mind games with you. Like you cut through that nonsense. Like look, sword, sword. Like kind of one is pointing down, one is pointing up. So like you can see beyond the surface. You can see all aspects. Like again, you're very, very smart. You're kind of like how I think of Sherlock Holmes, where it's like nothing gets past him. He can notice even the smallest of details. And I bet you have a really great poker face as well, is what I'm seeing. And you can read to other people's tells. Like we can tell when they're being dishonest, you can tell when they're hiding something, tell when they're lying, right? You can tell people's signs that something is amiss. So you're very observant in that way. And you can navigate a lot of these situations really, really beautifully, okay? There's this smoothness about you, maybe even like a smooth talker, where it's like you know just what to say at just the right moment. That's another beauty of like the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, that communication skill. They love that about you. Now with the Nine of Wands here, this is what I was talking about, like knowing when to intervene, knowing when to help, and knowing when it's not your place, or knowing that, you know, you're not doing anybody favors by helping them or like babying them them or coming to the rescue. It's like, no, you have to learn. And that's, I think, like tough parenting, right? Where it's like, I'm not always going to be here to rescue you and make things better and cover for you when you mess up. Like, sometimes you just got to learn on your own, or else I'm just going to be covering you for the rest of your life. And I feel like maybe one thing that you really resonate with and you live by, it's like, teach a man to fish and you can feed him for the day. But give a man a fish, you can feed him for the day. But teach a man to fish, you can feed him for life, right? And so I feel like you kind of have that mentality and that understanding. So we have this like barrier here of these like flaming skulls, which is like very scary, right? If you saw that in real life. And you have this poor girl here who looks like lost. And then we have this like creepy house on like Chicken Lakes. I think this is like a Russian fairy tale or story. And there's like a witch that lives in that rooster house. But in any case, like, you know the boundaries. Like, she is not in any immediate danger. She has time to figure out her situation and find a way out. And so there's that timing thing again. You understand when to intervene, when not to. You can tell, like, when people truly have reached their limit and they need help, right? But you don't, like with the Queen of Swords, like, you don't play no games. You know, it's like a good way of looking at it is oftentimes you have more faith and belief in other people's abilities than they have in themselves, right? And so you're probably a better barometer and a better gauge at when people have reached their limit versus when they've just given up because they're being lazy, or they're kind of not so committed or dedicated, or they're being like weak-willed or impatient, right? Like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore because like it's taking too long, right? And so it's like, you're not going to reward that type of giving up energy, right? So your future spouse loves that you keep it real, okay? But you do so in a way that it's very clear that you're not doing anything to be cold and ruthless, uncaring and mean. Like, it's very clear that you're doing it for their own good. And despite how some of the things you say might be unpleasant, like, people don't tend to hold that against you. That's what I'm seeing here. And this one, I feel like, you know, you are really a big cheerleader for people, even if you don't outwardly show it. I feel like you really cheer people on and believe in them. And you do what you can to help them move forward. But again, you are very hands off. Like, maybe it's just a word of inspiration, or maybe a little tip or a hint on what they can try. But again, you don't do anything for them. You let them do it themselves. Oh, man, you sound like an amazing person, Group 1. I love this. I can tell your future spouse really knows you and they really watch and they're very attentive to you. So let me know what you thought of your reading as well. Give me a little heart in the comments down below. Tell me also what you love about yourself, okay? Like, yeah, your future spouse loves you, but what do you love about you? Like, you need to honor that. So tell me down in the comments below, what do you love about yourself? So thank you so much for watching this reading. I really appreciate the views, the loves, the likes, the comments, the shares. All of that means a lot to me. You don't even understand how much. So thank you so much for that. If you want a more personalized reading, just check the description box down below to see how you can request one. But other than that, remember, loves, it's never too late for your happily ever after. Wishing you all the best. Hi there, Group 2. Welcome to your reading to find out why your future spouse loves you. And so we have this lovely heart with a lot of yellows and oranges coming through and some greens. So what does it say here? Playfulness. Laughter is the best therapy. Have some fun together, and remember, love is the greatest healer. Oh my gosh, like, how straightforward could this be to kick us off with your reading? Your future spouse loves how playful you are, loves how lighthearted you can be and humorous. They find you really, really funny, and you make them laugh like no other. Oh, I love this. That's gorgeous. Okay, let's see your other cards here. Music, harmony. Oh, that's beautiful. I feel like your future spouse really feels like you compliment them. Feminine, your divine feminine, you seeking her twin or soulmate. Wow, that's a great confirmation of what we're just talking about, like that complementary nature of your relationship. Spring, your love is blooming, your answers arrive in spring. That's so interesting because in the other reading, group one's reading, we got autumn or fall. Wow, I wonder if we're going to get a season for the third group as well. That would be really cool, actually. Separation, no contact, 5D, dreams, nightmares, focus on your own happiness. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, it just got a little bit deep with this card. Let me explain. So what I'm seeing here is, yeah, you're funny. Yeah, you know how to make people laugh and you can be silly and goofy at times. But what I'm seeing here is focus on your own happiness. So the reason why you are able to bring happiness and joy and laughter to other people's life is because you yourself are happy and joyful and full of laughter, right? Like I feel like you're one of those people that can laugh at themselves even. Like that's how kind of good-natured you are and how you aren't super like egotistical, or you don't have too much pride, where you can laugh at yourself and you can like poke fun at yourself when you mess up, or you know, like the sort of like slapstick comedy, like you accidentally bump into something or you accidentally fall on your butt, or you know, things like that, right? Like it's very sort of like good-natured energy that's coming through, and it's because you understand your own happiness, right? So the best conduits of happiness I feel in life are people who they themselves are happy. And it's making me think of, you know, famous comedians. A lot of times famous comedians, sometimes they have like some of the most serious forms of depression, like major depression, you know, and I'm thinking of Robin Williams. And, you know, Robin Williams, I really respected and loved Robin Williams as an actor. Like I loved him as the voice for the genie in Aladdin, the animated version, and I loved him in Mrs. Doubtfire. You know, I haven't watched this movie, but I really want to, so hopefully I can find it somewhere. But Patch Adams, like that's another movie as well. And so, you know, Robin Williams, he struggled a lot with depression, even though he brought so much laughter and smile to other people's faces. And so, unlike Robin Williams, I sense for you, your future spouse really loves that you genuinely, you yourself are a happy person. Like the happiness comes from within you and it emanates out to other people. And that's, you're just doing it because that's just who you are, right? It's not like you're trying to get attention and trying to get people to like you by making them laugh, by being silly and goofy. It's not like attention seeking behavior at all. You know, like sometimes class clowns, they kind of have that vibe, right? Like they just act silly because they want attention and they want to be seen and heard. That's not the case with you at all. Again, I keep saying like good natured, right? Like good natured fun, good natured joking around with each other. Like nothing you do ever feels very malicious or hurtful or like mean and teasing and condescending, like nothing like that at all. Like it's almost like Ellen. You know Ellen DeGeneres? Like I watched I know for sure one of her sort of like comedy skits, and I've watched a few of her talk shows. And she has that humor, right? That's sort of like playful, but not really like mean, like insult comics. You know, those insult comedians where they like kind of poke fun at you as part of their joking. And what else? So your future spouse genuinely just loves you. Okay, their love for you, I feel like it just continues to grow with each passing day, and they feel like you truly complement them and thus complete them. It's like a harmony, right? You play one note on the piano and it sounds pretty, it sounds nice. Then you add a second note or a third note and it's like it sounds more full, more rounded, like stronger, and there's this sort of like resonance with the notes that just blend so beautifully. And I feel like, you know, your one note, their one note, and the love you share, your relationship as a separate entity is a third note. And so it brings this beautiful chord, harmonious love chord. Oh my God, harmonious love chord. Like I can't stop it. It's getting so poetic over here. I feel like for them, you are like the life of the party. I feel too that they love doing things together with you. And, you know, I'm thinking of like these videos on YouTube where it's like these reaction videos. And I feel like for your future spouse, like being around you is like a live reaction video. Like they're just like not sure what you're gonna do next. And they love seeing how animated you are when things happen. Like sometimes they just wanna be around and like do things with you just to see how you'd react to them, you know, because it's such like a robust response, you know, like I don't think anyone has ever called you bland or boring. Like I'm hearing that now. Like I don't think anyone would ever say you're a boring person. I think you intrigue and you interest and you entertain a lot of people like just so naturally. So let's see what else we got here. Oh my God, Queen of Swords. That's funny. That came out with the first group. And we have the Tower card. We have the Three of Swords. Page of Swords, and the Four of Cups. So I'm getting a very clear message here. So like a lot of people, they would experience heartbreak, sadness, pain, tragedy, drama, and they would just like succumb to it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like when something bad happens, they immediately get absorbed in that bad negative energy, right? And they're easily like brought down and discouraged. And maybe, I know this is like a totally like dramatic word, but like despair, right? When challenges arise, some people, they just easily cave and fall into this state of despair and like depression, and they like freeze up, they get so anxious and worried about things. But that's not you, like at all. You're very brave, you're very courageous. And when things kind of don't go right, you tend to have a very curious nature, right? Kind of like what I'm seeing, this young royalty, this person, they look like really rich. I'm assuming they're royalty. I'm actually not as familiar with this folk story that is depicted here in this card. But like you kind of climb up the mountain, climb up the rocks to try to get a better view, right? Like some people, they just stay down and they don't ever look up. They don't stand back up on their feet. They don't try to look at things from a different vantage point. They just kind of like stay stuck. But I feel like with you, like when something like disturbing or troubling or annoying happens or whatever, like, okay, yeah, you probably will pause for a second and be like, ooh, that sucks, or that wasn't good, that was awful. But you're so quick to be like, okay, what happened here though? Like, what went wrong? Let me just try to understand what happened. Like, your curiosity overrides any worrying and anxiety about what went wrong, right? Like, you just kind of want to figure out, like, what happened there. And I feel like too, with the laughter and the playfulness, like again, I was saying earlier, like you can laugh at your mistakes. You can laugh when you sort of like trip over something, whether it's really like physically you trip over an object, or like metaphorically, like you trip over your words, right? Or you stumble on your way to completing a task, that kind of thing. So I feel like you can kind of laugh at it, you know? Like sometimes, like this is an example, like albeit like relatively minor one, like on my channel, right? When I like mispronounce a word, or like I get tongue tied, or I forget something, like I just kind of like laugh at myself. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna be embarrassed. Like I don't feel like I have to know everything, right? And I feel like you carry some of that similar energy where it's like, okay, like that was like, bull, but I'm gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna just keep swimming, right? Like Dory, you're just gonna keep going. Like, I'm hearing that line from Christina Aguilera and Little Kim's song, "They can't hold me down," right? I really don't know the rest of the words. That honestly wasn't one of my more favorite songs from her. But anyways, I feel you're that kind of person that perseveres, you know? And I can tell you learn a lot from it as well. Like you learn so much from like any little mistakes that you make. And your future spouse loves that you don't get down for long, right? Like you always manage to pick yourself up and do it with a smile on your face. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard this song in forever, but I don't think many people know who this is, but let me know if you do. Her name is Vitamin C, and she had this song that came out that was like, put a smile on your face, make the world a better place, put a smile on your face. And she also had this like graduation song that I think it was like class of 2000. I know I'm dating myself. I know y'all. I know. I'm getting up there in wonderful years of life. But there's like a graduation song that she sang that I think a lot of high schools used it as their, graduation song or anthem, whatever it's called. But in any case, again, you pick yourself up with a smile on your face, and you're one of those people. I'm seeing like these clouds here, and what I'm hearing is like silver lining. You're able to see the silver lining, and your future spouse loves you for that. I'm getting the sense now, as I'm tuning in a little bit more to your future spouse's energy, is like before you, like a lot of people in their life were like negative Nancy's, negative Ned's, like grumpy Smurf kind of energy, right? Where it's just like very Eeyore, like, oh man, feeling bad again. All the world is against me. Never gonna catch a break, right? Like everyone's like that kind of like Debbie Downer, like whoa. And your future spouse like, oh, look at you, you're amazing. Look at like the lightning. Like you're this like crash of lightning that kind of got them out of this like foggy, heavy energy of the people around them. And it's like you light up the night sky for them, right? Just like lightning does. It's just like this bright light in the darkness. And that's who you are to your future spouse. You are like pure gold. And your future spouse treasures you for this personality that you have, right? And your future spouse, what I'm hearing is like when things get tough, it's like you really know how to give them perspective. You really know how to remind them like everything isn't as bad as it seems most of the time, right? Most of the time things are not as bad as we make them out to be. Like our brain sometimes tends to like go overboard with it, like make things like a tragedy or make things seem worse than they are. It's sort of like our ego mind doing that. It's like taking it there, it's like going there with that. And I feel like you don't suffer from that as much as other people do. And your future spouse sees you as sort of this like motivation to kind of keep moving. And they kind of turn to you, like when they experience tough times in their life, they turn to you to kind of help lift their moods up a bit, help remind them like, hey, it's gonna be okay, it's not that bad, I love you, and this is just like a little setback, like don't worry about it, like we can do this, right? And you can make them laugh at the same time. Like you can like share a cute little joke or anecdote, or just remind them of like a funny memory or something that just can simply make them smile. And they love your laugh, they love hearing your laugh. It's like music to their ears. What? Okay. I love this reading for you all. Oh my gosh. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Put a little smiley face or like a laughter emoji, right? The one with the little tears coming out of the eyes. My favorite is like the laughing emoji with the tears, but like the head is like crooked over, So if you're feeling this reading and that resonates with you, leave that little emoji in the comments, why don't you? And also, oh my god, I should have said this earlier, but more importantly, like this is why your future spouse loves you. But I think it's really important that you understand that you are lovable, and it's important that you comment down below what you love about yourself. Okay, like affirm that, announce that to the world, and let that energy be magnified. Like What do you love about yourself? Comment that down below now. And with that, as you're typing, like, thank you so much for watching, loves. Thank you so much for all your support that you show my channel with your comments, the likes, letting the ads run, sharing the videos. It really, really means a lot. I cannot say that enough. And if the general reading got you a little bit more curious and you want a personal reading, just look at the description box down below and you can see how to request one from me. But beyond that, remember, it's never too late for your happily ever after. You, like, beautiful sunshine bear, you. Take care, loves. Well, hello there, my amazing Group 3 crew. Welcome to your reading to find out why your future spouse loves you. Now, I mentioned this towards the end of the other 2 readings, and I want to mention this now because I think it's really, really important, and I kind of wish I could have mentioned it a little bit sooner. But this reading is all about why your future spouse loves you. But right now, to really open up to this reading, I think it's very important that you comment down below what you love about yourself. Okay, let's plant that seed and allow that energy to magnify. Okay, what do you love about yourself? Beautiful. I feel like warm, fuzzy energies. So type that in, and we're gonna see what your future spouse loves about you with this amazing. I don't think I've ever drawn this heart before in another reading when I've shuffled. So let's see what it actually says. When it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. Ooh, I feel a lot of wisdom coming through from this card, wisdom that you have and that your future spouse loves about you. What else do we have? Oh, dance, celebration. Oh my God, it's making me think of that song by Justin Timberlake from the Trolls movie. Dun 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 dun, Jupiter dance, 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 yeah. Dun 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 dun, so keep dancing. Why am I like not remembering the words? It's a great song though, wouldn't you agree? So what else? Self-worth. This is a beautiful card to see. Values, self-esteem, confidence. Wow. Be empowered by valuing yourself. Oh, yes. So you know what I'm hearing is that phrase that I see on a lot of like pictures, a lot of posts, a lot of paintings and whatever. It's like sing like no one's listening, dance like no one's watching, right? Like, do you know that phrase? I feel like you embody that. You embody that phrase. That's what I'm hearing right now. That you have enough confidence in yourself. I'm not saying you have the most confident or you're one of the most confident people in the world if you don't feel that way, but you have just enough confidence for you to go after your dreams, for you to stand up for yourself, right? And your future spouse loves that you value yourself and you're not anyone's punching bag, you know? Memories. I just heard that your future spouse, like, they look to you as like a role model, as an example of what it means to value yourself. Oh, wow, amazing. Okay, memories, nostalgia, repetition, attachment, reliving the past, let it go. I feel like it's that phrase, let it go. Like, it's like, okay, whatever, you can think what you want. Like, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one, right? Like one of those things. Your opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody has one. And it's like, you don't let that really get you down at all. I really feel too, what I'm hearing is like, your future spouse loves that you're not that person that's like all about peer pressure, right? Like, you don't just do what everyone else is doing just because they're doing it, and you want to fit in, and you want to be seen in a good light by other people. Like, if anything, you might even be a little bit of a rebel energy, right? Or this sort of like independent, unique kind of energy where it's like you're not a stereotype at all, right? Like, you don't really fit into a lot of those stereotypes. Potential. Wow, look at this big city. Is this Los Angeles? I wonder. Anywho, fulfillment, risk, achievement. Your potential is limitless. Yes, now I see this. So your future spouse loves that you are so accomplished in life. Whether you believe it or not, they see you as someone who's achieved a lot of things. And why is that? because you take chances. You take chances, you put yourself out there, and you're willing to give it a go. You're willing to give it a try, right? If it means getting to where you want to be, if it takes you closer to your goals, you will give it a go. You'll try it. Like, I feel very like courageous energy coming from you. That energy came through a little bit with group 2, but yours is like a little bit different. Like, I feel like with you, the reason why you're so successful is you don't overthink things. Okay? Like, you go for it. Because sometimes when people overthink things, they talk themselves out of it, right? And I feel like that's not you. And that's like the key ingredient. Like, a lot of the most successful people in the world, they're successful because they see an opportunity, they seize it, they take a chance, you know, they go all in. They don't like play it safe, they don't shy away from challenge or from adversity and all that. Like you move forward like head on, just like this waterfall coming down on this person's head. Like, you are like a waterfall, like you come crashing down with so much force. I feel with the dance and celebration, this person is like, give me life, hunty. Okay? It's like, you're giving me life. Like, you are showing up and showing out, boo. Like, that's what I feel your future spouse is like in awe over. It's like, I'm seeing this runway now, and I feel like even if you don't think of yourself as like a runway model, or you would never do that yourself or whatever, I feel like your future spouse, they see you and you're like, oh my God, you have like that boss walk where it's like you walk around like you own this place, you know? Oh my God, I just heard that Rihanna song, Run This Town. We gonna run this town tonight. Hey, right? She performed on the Super Bowl, and like everyone was wondering if she was pregnant, and I think, you know, afterward it was revealed that she was. But she performed that song, Run This Town. And I feel like that's your vibe, like very boss energy, like, okay, playa, okay, okay. Right? It's like, I wouldn't be surprised actually if when you walked into a room, like, you turn a few heads. People notice you, okay? People notice you. And it's that boldness that you carry with you. And so that's one reason why you've achieved so much, because you're willing to take a risk that other people won't, or take a chance. But as a result, your potential is limitless. Like, I feel like your future spouse looks at you and they're like, you can do anything. And that's pretty, like, rad. That's so awesome that you can do anything. I wouldn't put anything past you. Even if you don't know how to do it, you'll find a way. If it's important to you, you'll make it happen. I feel like that's your energy here. And you can owe a lot of your success to that energy. Yeah, and so the word that I'm getting, okay, we have to pull that card out. That was definitely a yes. Victory. You are a victorious person, and you receive a lot of recognition for it. The thing is, though, I don't think you do it for the recognition, because you have a lot of self-worth. Again, it's like, whatever, you think whatever you want to think about me. Like, I know who I am. I know what I want. I know where I'm going. So I'm doing this for me first and foremost. But if you want to come along for the ride, if you want to like flow with me, ride with me, like, come on then, let's do this, right? So you get recognized a lot and you have a lot of accolades, but you're not doing it for that. 8 of Cups. Strength. Hello. Is that not an appropriate card for you, or like what? Oh my God, I'm hearing now the Katy Perry song, Roar. Roar, I am the tiger, I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. Oh my gosh, my nephew, like, so cute. I think when he was like 3 or 4, he loved that song, and when he sang it, it was like so adorable. What else do we have? 5 of Wands. Oh, One more card, please. Future spouse, spirit. Okay. Oh. There we go. That's all, folks. So 9 of Swords. Okay. So, firstly, this definitely jumped out at me. These people like sparring, fighting over here. This is you. You're the blue one. You stand out. You're not afraid to stand out. You're not afraid to be different. You're totally unique. You better own that, honey. If this means anything to any of you, I can sense that you could definitely be like a star seed, okay? You are here to really help shift the energies of the planets. Like you're here to kind of move humanity into a new age, right? Because we're transitioning from like age of Pisces to age of Aquarius. And so you're moving us. You're one of those, whatever, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in the planet that really are forward thinking, that will revolutionize the way the world will become, kind of like maybe not to this degree entirely for some of you, but like how Steve Jobs, right? And Elon Musk, the Mahatma Gandhi, right? Albert Einstein, like these influencers, but not like social media influencers, not necessarily in like that, although some social media influencers do have a lot of sway and help really shift the cultures, right? But anyways, that's your energy here. You're here to shift things. You're here to challenge a lot of like the old paradigms, the old ways of doing things that just really aren't applicable now. And you're here to bring in new ways of thinking, new ways at looking at things, and you have that confidence to challenge the systems that need to be broken down. And you have this strength, like people, like I was saying earlier, like you walk into a room, people can sense it. Okay, people like they notice you. Even if they don't see you, it's like they can feel your presence. Like that's how intense you can be, even if you're not like a loud person, or intimidating looking person. Like your energy is very strong. Now this is the Oracle of Delphi here. And so I feel like your future spouse, they really feel like you're a futurist. Like you can see things in the future and they're like, what? Like, this is wild. I feel like you have a way to, maybe some of you can sense trends. So when it comes to like investing in something or like calling like, oh, this is going to be the next it thing. This is like going to be the next fad. This is the thing that's going to go viral next. Like you have a way of picking out these things. And then I wouldn't be surprised if you are already or will become like a trend setter, I'm seeing the movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, let me know if you watched that movie. It was like so insane. It's like mind blowing. But like the outfits of one of the main characters, like the daughter in the show, like her outfits were like wild. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like these crazy fashions. It's like, what? Give me life, honey. Like that's like runway stuff or something. So I feel like that's kind of your energy, is like her, where it's like you're the new dawn of humankind in a way. Like you're one of those people. And some people are going to worry, like the parents, like the oldies, the generation that's kind of fading out. Like, of course, they're going to worry and have all sorts of feelings about it. But, the world is going to keep spinning. That's just how it is. We're all going to have our time on this planet and then we're all going to depart, right? And so it's like, what are we going to do with the time here? And your future spouse loves how you are an advocate of change, of shift, and you're not afraid of it. You embrace it. You embrace the new here. Nothing intimidates you or scares you off. Ah, that's beautiful. That's it right there with your future spouse. That's what they love about you. Nothing intimidates you. You will press on. You have that courage. And this Eight of Cups, like leaving the past behind. I feel like that's why you're not afraid to take risks. It's like, okay, well, that didn't work. Whatever, moving on. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like hang on to things. You don't hang on to things that make you feel bad, that didn't work out, that make you sad, that hurt your feelings. Like you don't hold on to that mess. You're just like, let it go, right? Let it go. You have no attachment to those things. at all. You're like, it's kind of like, what was that? I think it was Ben Franklin and maybe even Albert Einstein. It's like, whenever they experimented on things, like, they didn't really care if they messed up. It's like, they were like, great, I learned another way how this doesn't work. I learned another way of what not to do, right? So like nothing was ever like a loss to them. There's always something to be gained. There's always something of value, right? And because you understand your own value, so you see the value in like not just the successes but also the failures, right? Which really aren't failures, you know what I'm saying? Woo, 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 getting deep. So yeah, and I think that's brilliant. You know, a lot of people, they're only there for the party. They don't see what goes into prepping the party, all the work that happens into it. They just want to enjoy the fruits of the labor and not really do any of the labor. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you're not that person. And your future spouse respects that. So there was like a word that kind of came through for each group. Like one was admire, one was in awe of you. For you, your future spouse legit respects you. They see you as a force to be reckoned with. And it's not that you're like a bulldozer that knocks people over to like make their way to the top or anything like that. Like, no, you're very honorable is what I feel. Very, very honorable, because we have this warrior princess here, like very honorable. And it doesn't matter if you're a guy or gal, like that has nothing to do with it. It's just that warrior spirit. So you're very honorable. And so they respect you. They have like mad respect for you, love. I said low. I think it was supposed to be yo, but then maybe I was trying to say love. Anyways, so let me know what you thought of this reading. Like, give me a little whoop whoop hand raise or like that fist bump or whatever, because that's the symbol I'm feeling of like mad respect. And if you haven't yet, make sure you comment down below too, at the side of the emoji, like, what do you love about yourself? Because this is what your future spouse loves about you. But know that your love, the self-love you have, is the most important thing. I don't know why I'm saying that, because I feel like you already know that with this card. Anywho, thank you so much for watching, loves. Thank you for your support with the channel by leaving comments, by sharing these videos, and letting the ads run. Those types of things really go so far in helping this channel grow and reach more people to receive these loving and awesome messages. So thank you for that. If you need a little bit more personal clarity after these general readings, like, I do offer some limited personal readings, so just look down in the description box below to request one if that interests you. But otherwise, it's never, ever, ever too late for your happily ever after, and I'm feeling you're gonna get a lot of them because you're so achieved. You have so much achievements and so much success just like ahead of you in abundance. So anyways, hope that made sense. Take care, loves. See you next time.